What's up, you guys? This is Charmonique. I am the host of Catch These Vibes podcast. I'm bringing you a Nicki Minaj Corner episode. So, I did my makeup today. Had the day off, so I did a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not really much, but I did do my makeup. So, I was like, I do feel like podding. Let me try to do video. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I attempted to do it, but I don't know. I just be feeling awkward, okay, when I'm talking and recording myself at the same time. It's just something I got to get used to, okay? I'm like, do I look at this? Do I look at the dot? Like, where do I even look? Like, okay. Anyways, so we are due for a Nicki Minaj Corner episode. We are due for another season of the podcast, really, which is going to come. Trust me. I really do miss podcasting like on a regular. I've been listening back to a lot of my episodes, not just the Nicki Minaj corners, but all of them. I've been listening back since all the way back to season one, just listening and thinking about how badly I want to start recording again. So we definitely gonna do that. We definitely gonna do that. But I don't want to half-ass any of the episodes, especially the ones where I'm going to be talking about particular movies. Um, some of my favorite episodes, though, and I think I've said this before, but some of my favorite episodes are the ones that I talk about a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Those ones, those ones are my favorite. After, taking this break and listening back to the episodes, I've listened to, the movie review ones for my 90s series. I listened to the Nicki Minaj Corners. And then I listened to my prior format before I started the series. And I really like those ones. Like, I really do. And that's why I was intentional about saying that the other ones were going to be the 90s series is just a series. It wasn't something that was going to be permanent. I mean, I did kind of think about, dang, do I really want to just do this forever? Like, but no, I don't. There's some okay, well, this is a Nicki Minaj corner, so we got to get to Nicki Minaj. We can talk about all that extra stuff on a different episode. I am planning on doing an end of the year episode where I talk about, some of my favorite music from the year, some of my favorite movies from the year, just how I felt about 2024 overall, which is something that I've done with other seasons. I did mid-year. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. All right, but anyways, yes. So let's get into Nicki Minaj. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about Nicki and what's been going on lately. I believe the last episode that I did was in September, where I talked about my Gag City experience. I went to the Inglewood show and I had the time of my life. So, um, Nicki's concert, the tour is over. She, I believe that she may be going on another tour. It hasn't been announced, but she has been saying that she does want to go to Africa. Like, there's still countries that she didn't get to go to um during the first and second leg of the tour. So I would assume that she might be touring again next year, but I don't know. We don't like right now, we don't know where things are and are headed, I should say. And I think it's exciting. It also makes me nervous, but it also is very exciting to not really know what to expect. And it makes it fun when, your favorite artist can be a bit unpredictable at times. Like, that makes the experience fun. So, yeah, possible hiatus in the near future. That makes me nervous and it makes me sad because she's my favorite. She's very, very active when it comes to interacting with her fans. And we've experienced it. We have, as Barb's, we have experienced a few different hiatuses of hers in the past. Um, so it can be very boring, okay? When your favorite artist isn't putting out music, isn't really talking, especially for the people who have a favorite artist that really isn't that doesn't interact online at all, like you don't know what they got going on. You know, they kind of mysterious or whatever. I know that probably be like y'all probably be going through it. People who are fans of like people like Kendrick, even Beyonce at times, but Beyonce, she's been kind of active lately. So I'll give her that. But for the most part, Beyonce is kind of mysterious. Like she's not going on live. She's not posting on her story, you know, her day-to-day life. Like we don't know what Beyonce be doing until she posts something. And most of the time all she posts is, you know, pictures of, you know, her looks or whatever. But anyways, Nicki Minaj. So I believe in the last episode I talked about how Nicki announced Pink Friday 3. Pink Friday 3. So initially she announced it as a deluxe for Pink Friday 2. And then she was like, you know what? Nah, I feel like I don't want to just add a whole bunch of songs to this masterpiece. I want to make a whole new album with all this new music that I've been creating. So she's like, I'm gonna make a new album, and she's been calling it Pink Friday 3. But she said that it wouldn't come this year. But she also said that we wouldn't have to wait long for it. So today they announced the Grammy nominations. And as expected, Nicki didn't get any nominations. Actually, I thought she would at least get nominated. I actually thought she would at least get nominated. I mean, at least nominated. But she didn't get any nominations, which I feel like is ridiculous. But I'm really tired of talking about the Grammys and how often they be snubbing my girl. So we're not going to really spend too much time on that. But I definitely feel like Nicki knew what the conversation was going to be. And so that's why she decided to announce something today. Because she knew that some of the Barbs were going to be bothered by the lack of her being nominated. And she knew that other people were going to be talking about it because the Barbs aren't the only people that talk about it at times. They're not. Other people aren't as loud. Like the general public, they're not as loud as the Barbs when it comes to things like this. But there do be people talking that they probably wouldn't consider themselves to be a Barb. So she knew that the talk was going to be, oh, Nicki not having any nominations, because it's something that happens quite a lot. Either she gets nominated and then she doesn't win anything, you know, obviously because she doesn't have a Grammy yet, or she doesn't get nominated at all, which really is crazy. Because we're going to talk about Pink Friday 2 and everything that it accomplished, and it just makes no sense at all for them not to have gave this album any type of recognition. It makes no sense at all, and it's blatantly clear that they are purposefully not giving her flowers when it comes to, you know, these Grammy Awards. So Nicki knew that this was going to be a conversation, and you know, I think she's probably one of the best at like marketing when it comes to staring the conversation in her direction in a way that she wants it to be. You know, like she knows how to distract the people, distract her fans to get them talking about what's really important or what she feels she wants them to talk about. So today, she a little bit, you know, maybe an hour or two or a little bit maybe longer than that, she announced that she was going to be releasing a deluxe. And she said the hiatus is what it's going. I don't know if that's what it's going to be called or what, but that's what she put. So let's actually go to the actual post. Yeah, so she definitely did it to distract folks. So 7 hours ago, she said Pink Friday 2, The Hiatus, the final deluxe installment on the 1 year anniversary of Pink Friday 2, December 13th. So I think it was last week, maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, she had posted the number 13. And so all the bars were like, what does that mean? Like, what's 13 represent? Is this a cryptic message for something? Like, what is this about? So, December 13th, she's going to be dropping this deluxe to Pink Friday 2. So that was definitely unexpected. I figured she was going to have, Nicki always has something up her sleeve. So I figured that one of these days we were going to get some type of announcement from her regarding music. I just wasn't sure when. So yeah, we're going to get some new music from Nicki in next month. So that is exciting. But to be honest with you, of course I want new music, but I really want this damn documentary. Okay, that's what I want. I don't really care about nothing else. I want this documentary because, girl, it's time. What's the hold up? What we waiting on now? Like, you released your album, you went on tour. What we waiting on? Um, I remember she did say that obviously she wants to, she wants the documentary to be in good hands as far as, whoever's the production company or whatever platform it's going to be on. It would be really dope if she could put it out in theaters. Like that would be really dope. But somewhere like Netflix, even if she could work it out again with HBO Max, I'm not gonna say Prime because oh girl, she just released her documentary on Prime, so you know. But whatever, whichever platform, I don't care. I just want the documentary. That's my main thing. That's what I care about right now. Yes, I would love to have new music, but I just want this documentary. And I don't want nothing to keep that's going to get in the way and push it back even further. So, but like I've said, maybe the last episode or the episode before that, I got to just trust what Nicki decides to do because there are things that happen behind the scenes that we as fans have no idea about. We don't know like what the particulars and what could be holding it up, what could be going wrong, or we just don't know. So she could very much want to hurry up and put it out, but for whatever reason it could just not be working out the way that she wants. So I do hope that we can get that. I really, really do. If not, if not this year, then hopefully like the first quarter of 2025. Like it's been so long. I just want this documentary. Like I want it really, really bad. So yeah. But new music. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm excited for new music. But yeah, let's just take a moment to talk about everything that Pink Friday 2 accomplished. A lot of stats to go over, and it is crazy. So, first of all, Pink Friday 2 debuted number one with 228K. And it would have been more than that if Billboard didn't take away some sales. They definitely was, fucking around and being unfair as always when it came to Nicki and the things that she was trying to do, the way she was going about it. You know, they allow other people to do things, but when it comes to Nicki, they want to start changing rules and switching things up. But whatever, she still got the number one album this decade, the first number one album this decade from a female rapper, I believe. So yeah. So most vinyl copies first week in history for a female rapper. The most vinyl copies first week in history for a female rapper. Opened with over 120 million streams first week. 92,000 pure sales first week. So you have pure sales and then the sales that are, calculated through streams or whatever. 92,000 pure sales. Biggest streaming week for a female rapper album in the past decade. Longest running number one album by a female rapper on Apple Music USA. I believe it was like 37 days or something like that, either 36 or 37 days. Number one on Apple Music. So she charted 17 total tracks on the Hot 100, the most for a female rap album ever. Now, let's talk about that for a minute because people be liking to talk about things but don't really be they be trying to play dumb. Cuz let's really look, like, we really got to get into this because Nicki dropped her album December 8th, 2023. Christmas time is no joke. All the Christmas songs, people are playing the Christmas music. So all the Christmas songs, they shoot up on all the charts. We know every year Mariah goes number one. I don't get it, but people love that song. I don't. But every year that song shoots up to number one. You know, Jingle Bell Rock and The Most Wonderful Time, like all those songs, like every year it's a thing that those songs shoot up the charts. So Nicki, she put her album out during Christmas season. So she was competing with those Christmas songs. And when her album came out, all her songs I feel like the whole album almost pretty much she had songs that was number one on Apple Music. She had the I believe she had the whole top 10 if I'm not mistaken. So her songs would have went top 10 on the Hot 100 if it wasn't for the Christmas music. So people don't like to think about that. They don't really care. They just want to, like, oh, she ain't got no top 10s. Well, she didn't get any top 10s because she was competing with Christmas music. A lot of these bitches wouldn't be able to compete with Christmas music at all. But she was really holding her own against the Christmas songs. Like, so that's something that's very important to point out. She could have possibly got a number one if it wasn't, Christmas. Because the highest charting songs, I believe, was Everybody and Fuck the Club Up. I think those two were the ones that stayed on the Hot 100 the longest, and I think those are the ones that charted the highest on the charts. So yeah, we have to talk about that. My girl was competing with Christmas music, and everybody can't do that. All right, so Pink Friday 2 was 2023's largest streaming week for any R&B/hip hop album by a woman, with 169.87 million on-demand streams. Largest sales week for an R&B/hip hop album by a woman in 2023 with the 92K pure sales. And then biggest week for an R&B/hip hop album by a woman this year, 228K. Pink Friday 2 officially breaks the record for biggest debut for a female hip hop album in Spotify history. Okay? History. Pink Friday 2 is now the longest running number one album by a female rapper in U.S. Apple Music history. Like I said, I think it was 36 or 37 days, honey. So Nicki Minaj has now sold over 3 million album units globally in 2024. 3 million album units globally. So Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday 2 remains the only album by a female rapper to debut at number one Billboard and to sell over 200K first week sales this decade. So none of the girls this year have been able to hit 100K. And a lot of them dropped this year. Like pretty much all of the main rap girls dropped this year. The only one that hasn't is Belle Callis. That's the only one that hasn't dropped. So we had JT, Ice Spice, Sexy Red, Doja, Glorilla, Megan, I think Flo Milli, Lotto, and I don't know if I'm missing someone, I don't know. But those are like the main girls for, yeah, yeah. So the only one missing is Cardi B. She's the only one that hasn't dropped. But all out of all those girls, Nicki's still the highest selling female rapper for the record. Okay. All right. So Pink Friday 2 extends its record as the most successful tour by a female rapper in Europe history with 18.2 million from 161,000 tickets sold in 14 shows. Pink Friday 2 extends its record as the most successful tour by a female rapper in US history with 85.3 million from 584,000 tickets sold in 53 shows. Now, I think this was before we got to the end of the tour, so I believe there's an update on this. I don't know. I'm not sure because I don't see the date. But Nicki Minaj is officially the fifth Black woman in history to gross over 100 million in a single tour, joining Tina Turner, Beyonce, Rihanna, and SZA. So yeah, since it has that, then yeah, this is all the most recent stats for her tour. Yeah, so Pink Friday 2 extends its record as the highest grossing and best selling tour by a female rapper in history with 108.8 million. So she has the highest. Pink Friday 2 was the highest selling female rap hip hop tour ever in history, and then the fourth overall. Nicki Minaj, she has the most charting songs in pop songs airplay history, along with Rihanna and Taylor Swift. Most streamed rappers of 2024 on Spotify, Nicki at 4.3 billion. She's on the list. She's the only one. I think the other person is Doja. But Nicki is the highest on this list. She's with Drake, Travis Scott, Kanye, Future, Kendrick, Eminem, 21 Savage, Playboy Cardi. And then we have Nicki motherfucking Minaj. Okay? So she also was the most searched female rapper of 2024, according to Google. I think Google. Undeniable stats. Those are amazing stats. Like, this was an amazing year for Nicki Minaj. Her album was highly successful. So if she wanted to go ahead and take a break or go on hiatus, then it's like, girl, your work is done. You did it. Like, no more points to prove. Like, she been not having to prove any points, but you know, people don't be wanting to give her flowers and give her props for certain things. And I don't know, I feel like we're entering this era where people love to big up mediocre ass shit. Like, anything to spite Nicki, anything to like not give her just due or give her props, they want to hype up mediocre shit. And it's just becoming more and more like a thing. Like, now people are trying to act like they don't care about sales. Oh, sales and charts don't matter. And it's like, I agree with that, but only to a certain extent. Because you can't say you're the hottest out. I think there's a difference between the best and the hottest. Because if if you pay attention long enough to this music industry, you will realize that the best artists don't always get the recognition that they deserve. They just don't. They don't always sell the highest. They don't always be on these lists. So just because you aren't selling doesn't necessarily mean you're not good. But I don't think you can say that you're one of the hottest out if you're not selling. I just don't feel like, if people aren't coming out to your shows, if you're not selling out your theater shows or the arena show that you thought you could do, then it's like I think the thing about it all is that people wanted to badly act as if everybody was all on the same level. Everybody was all on the same level. The girls was catching up to Nicki, and Nicki was no longer in the league of her own. I think that's where we all went wrong. Well, I didn't go wrong because I never said that. But there were people that started saying that and thinking that they were on the same level as Nicki. And she, with this whole year, she's proven that that is far from true. So we can give the girls props for doing their thing. We can, and act like, oh, 64K is great. We can act like that all we want. But don't for a second think that you can act like that can compare and compete with Nicki motherfucking Minaj. That's all I ask. Let's cut the crap. Let's stop. Please. And another thing, Twitter, online support, it don't translate to sales. It don't translate to online, to real life support. It just does not translate. So I remember I seen a tweet. Hold on, let me see if I could find it. Because I want to read it for verbatim. It shouldn't be too long of a scroll. Because I don't be tweeting that much. But that really be the thing for me. Is stop thinking that these girls can compete with Nicki when they really can't. Stop wanting these girls to compete when they really can't. And it's okay. Like I've been saying, it's okay. Nicki got damn near 20 years under her belt. They got maybe 5 at the most. Like, it's okay that they can't compete with the queen. It's all right. It really is. Okay, so here's the tweet. This dude said, Nicki Minaj really needs to stop the narrative that she's the only female rapper that writes to stop the public from enjoying these women music. These girls are working, writing, and perfecting their crafts. So first thing that I had to say about this was, when has she ever said that she was the only one that writes? She never said that. I must have missed it. I don't recall her ever saying or alluding to the fact that she's the only one that writes. Don't nobody else write their music. I don't really think that be the what she be. I don't think she says. I don't think she says that, and I don't think that's where she be coming from. Whenever she does bring up writing, I think that it's all about the comparisons, and there's just levels to it. And it's not right to compare someone who writes their music, that works hard and is coming up with these bars on their own, and these ideas and these double entendres and these metaphors and everything, when they're writing in the studio and doing that all on their own, versus someone doing it for them and them just reading it and reciting it. It's a big difference. I think that's all she be trying to say. I don't think it has to do with anything about her being the only one that writes. I think there's girls that do write. I think Doja writes. I could be wrong. I don't know. But just off of my impression, I feel like Doja writes her music. I think that she's a true artist because you see her. We've seen her in the studio doing her thing. Like, she produces her music. She does that. So I think Doja writes. I'm say I think Megan writes too. I think Flo Milli writes. I think Glorilla writes. I think Sexy Red writes. I mean, she's not the most lyrical, but I think she does her, she be doing her own thing. Yeah, so I think there are girls. Oh, and Bia. Let's not forget about Bia. I don't think that Nicki feels like none of the girls right. I just feel like you can't be. I think she just comes from a place of don't be comparing me and what I do to these bitches that don't do what I do, who don't put in the work that I put in. I feel like ever since Cardi B and them Cardi B thinking that she was better than Nicki because that's how other people made her feel, because she was, she had a nice run, like her debut run. You can't really deny it. It was nice. She was doing her thing. She was getting on features, from Maroon 5 to Bruno Mars. Like these songs were performing really well. She was getting top 10s after top 10 and number ones and all that. And it was like, that's great, but when people saw Cardi B doing it, they thought that they could now, that gives them an invitation to now shit on Nicki, because back when Nicki, was the only rapper that was really doing it, people weren't as chart obsessed. People weren't obsessed with the charts like that. But I think once Cardi B came out and everybody wanted to talk about it and try to make it seem like, oh, Cardi B is better than Nicki because Cardi is doing these different things that we really probably didn't make a big deal before, that's what's created this chart obsession now. And when somebody starts saying, oh, I live in the top 10, then it's like, okay, now everybody is trying to get them a top 10. Nicki has top 10s. Nicki has number ones. She has 3 diamond records. I believe 2 of those are solo. Um, so wait, Super Bass, Starships. What's the other one? Hold on, cause I just seen this list. Yeah, matter of fact, let's go over that. They just put her RIAA certifications out, and it says she has 3 diamond records. But the thing is, Nicki and her label, they don't really be thirsty to update her certifications that often. So her songs be eligible for a new certification, but she just don't be updating them like that. So, oh my gosh, why isn't it not loading? Anyways, I'll try to go to it, but I could have sworn, I know for sure it said 3. I just can't think of what Starship, Super Bass, and what was the other one? Now it's gonna bother me. But yeah, anyways, my girl got 3 diamond records. Okay. So she don't have no issue with getting, the top 10s and the certifications. Like she has all of the stats to back it up. Here it is. Here it is. Oh, bang bang. Okay, okay, okay. I get it. I see you there. So 2 of the diamond records are solo, and then one of them is a she was a feature with Bang Bang with Jessie J and Ariana Grande. So Billboard reported today that these are her current RIA certifications. So Pink Friday is her debut album. That's 3 times platinum. Pink Print is 3 times platinum. Pink Friday Roman Reloaded is 2 times platinum. Queen is platinum. And Pink Friday 2 is platinum. So as far as her singles, Super Bass is 12 times platinum. Bang Bang 10 times. Starships 10 times. Side to Side 8 times. Shoot, she gonna have four diamond records soon. And then she was on Trolls, which I believe is 9 times platinum, but I don't know what's going on with that, why it's not showing up, if she wasn't credited or something. Motorsport, that's 7 times platinum. Dance is 6. Dance with Big Sean 6 times platinum. Rake It Up 6 times platinum. Hey Mama 5 times. Monster 5 times. My Chick Bad 4. Only 4. Bees in the Trap 4. Ball for Me 3. Your Love 2. Love More 2. Super Freaky Girls 2. Feeling Myself 2. Va Va Voom 2. High School 2. Anaconda 2. I would think Anaconda would be bigger, have be higher on the list. Chun-Li is one, Pound the Alarm is one, Moment for Life is two. I would have thought that would have been higher up too. Princess Diana, that's two. But they have Trolls on here as 2 times platinum. So maybe, I don't know. Anywho though, my girl got the certifications for sure. But yeah, we are now in this place where, well, I think we're kind of getting away from that. I think we're getting away from the chart obsession because a lot of these people are not charting. They're not. Like, a lot of these girls that have dropped, people like them a lot. People love Megan and these other girls. They root for her. Doechii, I don't think Doechii charted at all. I think she only sold like 11 times. I mean, 11 times, 11,000. But people like her. People said that they fuck with the album, but nobody bought it. And I guess it just has a lot to do with the times that we're in. People stream music. People are not buying albums. But at the same time, people are. Like, we just seen Tyler, the Creator. His album is going to be #1 for a second week in a row because people are buying that album, or people are, I think his pure sales are pretty high too. But right now he's going to be #1 again with 160,000. I'm not sure how much of that is from streams or pure sales, but either way it goes, that people are really streaming that album. So if people aren't like streaming the fuck out your album and you don't have a whole lot of sales, you're not going to chart high on the Billboard 200. And it seems like if people fuck with you and think that you're talented, it don't matter. And I mean, I think it's always been that way, but let the fan bases and the stands tell it, that's a flop. And that has been something that I haven't agreed with for a long time. So I don't know. It's a difficult conversation because it's like, you want your music to sell. I mean, that's how are you making any money if your music isn't selling? If people aren't attending your tour, how are you making any money? How are you profiting anything? How are you going to be able to pay back that advance that you owe the label or whatever, if that's the case? So that's why it's like, that's needed. Sales are needed, but as far as when it comes to the enjoyment of the music, chart placement and the sales shouldn't determine how well you enjoy a project. How well you enjoy artist music, it should not be determined on, oh, is it on the Billboard 200? Like, that's not what it should be about. And I think for the real music listeners and people who really love music, that means nothing to them. They're not looking for the album or the artist to be validated by a Billboard chart. So I think it does come down to it just being a stand-based thing, like fans and stand bases wanting to have numbers to compete and brag about. But again, you cannot say you the hottest if you not breaking these records and doing all this extra shit that Nicki Minaj is doing. Like, you're still not competing with her. Like, yeah, people could like you and people could feel like you're talented or whatever, but if you not being able to like match what Nicki is still doing after all these years, then it's like you're not her competition. You're just not. And that's what I just want. For me, I just want people to accept that. Like, stop thinking that y'all can take Nicki out. Cause I just don't, it's just not possible. Like, with the fan base that Nicki has, the talent, the consistency that she's had over the years, like, even when she wasn't dropping albums, she still was doing features. She still was putting out, songs, loosies here and there. So it's not like she just disappears, after this. Not like, I think the longest that she's like been quiet probably was um 4 to 6 months maybe. I know that from my recollection, I remember that before the Queen era, she was on like a hiatus. She wasn't really talking, and then she came out with Barbie Tings and Chun Li, and then sometime after that, she I believe she came off a hiatus or something when she came out with Do We Have a Problem and Bustin' and all that. And then she's just kind of been on go since then, I believe. And I think that was like 2020, that she's just been on go ever since, because she's dropped a lot of music. And I think because there was at points she was going to drop, her album, but certain things happened, like maybe COVID got in the way, things like that. Like, that's probably true for a lot of artists, that they were going to drop around that time, but then, things happen. So she's really been pretty active for the past couple of years. So yes, it will hurt. It will be sad if she went on a hiatus, but I also wouldn't be mad at it at all. Like, take a break, because social media, it's a lot. Like, we feel that the hate train has ended to a certain extent, because I still feel like it's still going, and I feel like it's probably going to go forever, unfortunately, because people already made it up in their mind, or they've already accepted that Nicki is this bitter, that she's bitter and that she is evil. And this is just the stuff that I see online, that I just be like, damn, what did she do? It's these narratives that continue to circulate, that I feel like I know she don't care, but at the same time, I feel like it could probably be exhausting for you to just be minding your business and wanting to interact with your fans, and people still, trying you, talking about your family, talking about your husband, trying to use you for their promo, for their rollout, trying to shade you and say things that, and then like making your tweets about people, and it don't have nothing to do with them. Like, Nicki could post a meme of Chucky or a meme of her laughing, and people are going to swear that they know exactly what it's about, apply it to something, start writing think pieces about it, and run with it as if it's fact, which I think is really, really crazy, because you don't know what this lady laughing about. She spends a lot of time on Station Head, and lately what she's been doing is having these little talent shows where she has the Barbs come up and they start singing or rapping, or she has, if the Barbs feel like they got an issue with another Barb, then they start, going at it. Like, that could be what she's laughing at, because it really do be funny. It's really entertaining. She just be on Station Head kicking it with the Barbs, minding her business. She could post a meme on Twitter, and then everybody's like, oh, she's shading so and so. Why is she so concerned with what so and so got going on? And it's just like, I think it's the other way around. Why do y'all care if she posted a meme of her laughing? Like, why is this causing so much uproar? Like, she can just be minding her business, and people will still find a way to blame her for something. And I feel like, as a fan, that's exhausting. So I can imagine how exhausting it could possibly be for her. But because she's in such a happy and peaceful place in her life, I think it doesn't really get to her as much. But just being a human being, it's possible that it could still bother her to a certain extent. But, because she has her family, she has her beautiful son, she has her husband that loves her and is probably in the most happiest she's ever been in life. I don't think she really lets internet shit get to her. So I'm happy that she has that to keep her smiling and happy, and she has a balance where she can get online and she could, have fun, but she knows how to log out. Like, you're not going to see Nicki arguing back and forth with another girl's fan base, or um just doing unnecessary things that make you want to tell somebody to log out. Like, crashing out. And I know people love to say crashing out a lot. They call anything crashing out these days. But so when I say crashing out, I mean actually crashing out. Like, you know, arguing and getting on spaces, angry and arguing and yelling. Like, I feel like that's crashing out. But it also depends on what you're talking about. But yeah, Nicki don't be doing that. Like, she be chilling. Like, she be interacting with the Barbs and talking about her business and what she got going on. I think after what happened the beginning of this year with Bigfoot and everything, I feel like she probably not going to allow herself to be in a position to do something like that again, because we're all human. Everyone makes mistakes or does things that later they might feel like they should have handled differently. And so Nicki, she's not exempt from that. So it is, I do think that she probably feels like maybe she could have handled that situation differently. But at the same time, she proved the point that really did need to be proven, because that was the only number one that girl got this whole year. That was the only top 10 I think she got, if I'm not mistaken. So points were made. Points were definitely made. Um, but yeah, so we got the album Deluxe coming out. I wonder if it's going to be a situation where if it's a separate thing, or I mean, because she did say it's the Deluxe, the last edition to Pink Friday 2. So is she going to add some songs? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm very excited to see like what she does with that. Um, I think Nicki, though, also she knows how much power she has, and she knows how influential she is when it comes to people watching her and deciding what they should do based off of what she does. So I don't know. I wouldn't put it past her if it's just ends up being something that we completely didn't think it was going to be. Cause like I said, she announced the Deluxe and she was like, no, I'm gonna do a standalone album. Because as soon as she announced the Deluxe, here we go with other people talking about they putting out Deluxe. So that's when she was like, switched it to another album, but now she's calling it Deluxe again. So we gonna see how that goes. We definitely gonna see how that goes. I mean, we're almost a month away. By next week it'll be a month, and the rest of the year I feel like it's gonna fly by, just like this whole year has been doing. So we gonna get there before we know it. So I don't really, I mean, who knows? Something else might happen that might make me want to do another episode, but I probably won't do another episode until December 13th. Okay. All right. So I think that I touched on everything that I wanted to talk about. Until next time, Pink Friday 2 is still that album. And I don't, like, I just be wanting people, sometimes I just be wanting people to hear what I hear. Because that album is so, okay, this is my recommendation. If you haven't listened to Pink Friday 2, please listen to Falling for You. If you don't listen to anything else, listen to Falling for You. Like, actually put your headphones on, listen to the whole song. Like, listen to what she's saying. Also, I would say listen to Memories and Probably Dangerous. I mean, listen to the whole album, but there's particular songs that I feel like y'all have, like, if you haven't listened, if you haven't heard it, you're missing out. Like, I genuinely feel like you're missing out. Like, if you love rap, if you love hearing bars, if you don't discriminate and you love to hear a woman spit, like, really talk her shit, you gotta listen to Falling for You. My top 5 has been the same. I think this whole time, I think maybe one or two songs has switched out, but Falling for You has remained in my top 5 on this album. For me, my favorites, my go-tos whenever I do listen to it, which I mean is on a daily basis, but the songs, when you listen to an album a lot, you gain favorites, ones that you're like you want to hurry up and get to. So Falling for You is one of them. My Life is one of them. And Red Ruby the Sleaze still ain't top Red Ruby. And Big Difference is really fun to rap. I love that one. And then, like, when you really want to just listen to something like introspective and like deep and like think about life, it's Blessings and Memories. Like, what Nicki is capable of doing, like, it's just so, I appreciate it so much, because making a song like Memories, saying memories don't live like people do, like this album is definitely one of her most mature albums, and I'm just proud that she has really continued to evolve over time. And like Pink Friday 2 is just an album that, as I said from the beginning, when it was first released, it's really an album that gives you everything that you need. It gives you the bars, it gives you the deep thoughts, like you get into her mind and how she feels about life and what's going on, and she gives her sexiness, she gives her heart, the hardness, she takes it there. There's softness, there's playfulness, there's a little bit of everything on Pink Friday 2. And I'm saying this because I want people to know that I mean it with my soul. Like, I'm not just saying this shit just to say because I'm a fan. I mean it. Like, I really love this album. And I just wanted to get the recognition that it deserves from the people. Seeing people say, oh, like, I understand, like, if you're like, oh, I prefer Pink Friday, or I prefer Queen, or I prefer Pink Print, that's fine. But to, like, say that this is a bad album, or it's trash, or it's like, I just feel like that's a bit much. I feel like did you listen? Like, huh? But I get it. I understand. If an artist puts out enough albums, there's going to be an album where you're like, I wasn't really feeling that one. And that's fair. That's fine. Because I don't love every single Drake album. I love Drake, though. I love him a lot. There's albums that I love, but I don't like every single album. But Drake, he's dropped a lot of albums. So but I get it. I do. I understand. But like I said, if you haven't listened to it, those are the songs that you should listen to. Falling for You, the way that she flips, like, when you hear the chorus, you think the song is about something, but then when she starts her last verse. Picture that, picture me giving bitches flat. Picture pretending I get all you bitches piggyback. Picture you using me in the bars and never giving back. I promise I know the verse. Soon as they think they see the light, I turn the picture black. Ain't at the mall, but between me and them, it's a gap. Like, I just love her. Like, I love when she talks her shit. Ain't at the mall, but between me and them is a gap. Like, you bitches are all the way over there. Like, I'm right here. Like, there's a gap between us, okay? Y'all not close. Like, there's a gap between us. Like, don't ever get it fucked up. Don't ever get it twisted, honey. You not right here with me. You all the way over there on the other side of the building. Ain't at the mall, but between me and them is a gap. Picture saying that you the queen and knowing it's a fact. Picture you being able to say you the fucking best and know that it's the truth. Picture in my head giving wet and webby strawberry dak. No matter of fact, let me take that back before they steal that. Picture me open up the vault, bitch, I sealed that. Man, falling for you. But yeah, falling for you, Barbie Dangerous. My life, I don't know. It's like with my life, I just love how she raps on that song. Like people might not feel like it's the toughest bars or the hardest bars, but it's just the way that she's rapping. Like it's just I don't know what it is, but I just love it so much. I'm always up and got an Annie. I ball hard and never owe them like Lammy. Hey yo, these bitches lucky that I still ain't finding nanny. All of them is my junior Sammy. A bitch hot come fan me. And that ass still sitting so I know they can't stand me. Hey, I always mess up. I always start with the first verse and then cause the way that she raps it is like, it's easy to like mix them up because it's like what she says in the first verse, she could have said in the second, what she says in the second, she could, whatever. But yeah. Definitely my favorite Nicki Minaj album. It really, really is. Like I've gone back and I listened to the others. Like Pink Print for me, I like Pink Print, but I feel like it's a lot of slow songs, especially in the beginning. But that's where she was at that time in life, and so I understand it. Like that's why she was able to like. That's the album that she did like a visual album or visual, yeah, like a visual album too. Like she was telling a story with those songs, and that's why you can't. That's why that album gets a lot of respect because I think the songs like she was really telling a story and it wasn't it was for real. That was things that she experienced, and so that that's the only reason why Pink Print isn't like my favorite, just because there's a lot of slow songs on there like at the beginning part. But you got Feeling Myself on there, you got Truffle Butter on there, you got Anaconda on there, so you still have those other songs on there, but they're just the way that the album is. I wouldn't call that my favorite one, but I do love it. And then she was singing like so beautifully on there, like grand piano. Like I don't care what nobody say, my girl can sing. Like she can sing. She's able to her pen is really really nice, and she has a nice voice. So grand piano, Like if you want to like get into like the singing Nicki, that's probably the album to go to, Pink Print. And people say that she was rapping a lot on Queen, which I mean she was, because uh we got Majesty, Good Form, I believe, Chun-Li's on there, LLC's on there, Hard White's on there, Miami. So that's probably, she was doing a lot of rapping on Queen. And Sir with Future on it. Yeah. As you can see, I can just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about my girl's discography. But Pink Friday 2, my favorite. I love it. So actually, since I'm talking about it, I wouldn't mind some more music. I think we've lived with Pink Friday 2 for this whole year, and she's really, she's really rolled this era out in a beautiful way, like with the tour and everything. So new music would be nice to end the year off with, especially since it's going to be the year anniversary of Pink Friday 2. So yeah, that's exciting. One thing about being a Barb is she's gonna feed her fans. She's not gonna have you waiting, you know, for something substantial. Cause like, yeah, you could put stuff out for your fans, but if it don't really last, like if it just comes and goes, then it's like, how can you really enjoy it? You gonna feel like you ain't get nothing. But as a Nicki fan, I haven't felt like that in a long time. So I'm proud. I'm proud of my girl. She's had a very, very successful year, and I'm always excited to see what she does next. I know I imagine that it's very difficult to decide what to do next, because when you're in the position that she's in, you have opportunities. You can go in a lot of different directions. She can go in her acting bag. I think it was last year that it was announced that she was going to be working with 50 Cent on this animated series. I forgot the name of it, but we haven't heard anything else about that. So we're not exactly sure if that's still in the works or what, but I hope so. I mean, if it's something that she wants to do, obviously, but that just speaks to like there's just so many different things that she could do next. Like, and then also gotta take into consideration she is a mom, and her son, he's getting older. He just turned 4. So, don't know exactly how she wants to continue, maneuvering her career with her child. Does she want to have another kid? That she might want to take time off to do that. And then she did say she wants to go back to school to get her, or go to school to get a degree. So that's like ain't no telling what she gonna do next. There's just so many different directions that she can go. I'm just happy and proud of her, and just pray that God continues to bless her and give her the strength to continue to allow her fans to be able to experience her in the way that she lets her fans experience her. Like, her fans are the luckiest fan base, because she shows her love in so many different ways. Like, she really shows her love and appreciation for her fans, and there's no questioning how much she loves and cares about her fans. So I appreciate it. I appreciate this whole year, and we'll see what 2025 brings. So, like I said, next episode, hopefully we will be talking about this deluxe album or whatever album, new album deluxe that she drops December 13th. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun, exciting stuff. But yeah, and then to my people who just want a normal episode, like I said, I'm gonna do an end of the year episode and talk about tons of different things. Okay. All right. So yeah, thank y'all for watching this video and tuning in to this episode. Until next time, love, peace, and hair grease.